So we are solving interview questions of data structures and algorithm. Before starting this video, I would like to tell you that if you want to watch this same video in Hindi, the link would be in the description. अगर आपको यही सेम वीडियो हिंदी में देखना है तो उस वीडियो की लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में है. इफ़ यू आर नॉट कंफर्टेबल इन इंग्लिश, अगर आपको इंग्लिश में दिक्कत होती है, and if you want to read about the code in detail which I'm writing here, the link will be in the description for that documentation. अगर आपको इस कोड के बारे में डिटेल में पढ़ना है, उसका भी लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में रहेगा. And the documentation is written in English, Hindi, and Hinglish. So it is written in English language, then Hindi as a language, and Hinglish is a combination of English and Hindi, which is very uh, not professional language. It is very layman language. So you can just go ahead and read about this code. So now we will start our solution for this question. And yeah, let me first like explain you the question. So the question states that we have given an array, which you can see here. We have a parameter, like we have given an array here. We have given an array size here, and we don't have to return anything. So void is a return type, so we don't have to return anything. So what we have to do, we have to check whether 0, 1, and 2 is there. We know that 0, 1, 2 is there, but it is in very jumbled form. Let's say 1, 2, 0, uh, 1, 2. What we have to do is we have to convert this into this. We have to rearrange the 0 and 1. So 0, then 1, then again 1, then 2, then 2. So we have to sort this array. Okay. So what we can do, we know that the length of an array is given, so this is n. So this is the like length of an array. We know this is the end of an array. Okay. We know this is the start of an array. Okay. We don't know the midpoint, but to check between mid and start, we need something. So we will declare a variable known as mid. So let's say start and mid is at, initially they are at 0th index. So what I'm saying, that int start is equals to 0 and int mid is equals to 0. So initially we will say that, and we know that end is equals to n minus 1 because 0th indexing. Int end is equals to n minus 1 because 0th indexing. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So we can also state this like start as low, and we can also state this end as high. In few solution you will also get this low, high, and mid. So that is the same thing as start and mid, right? So we will go through our array. The flow would be that we will go through our array like this and this and this. The start and mid pointer will go through our array like from 0, 1, 2, 3, and we will check whether that mid is less than equal to end. If that is true, if mid is less than equals to end, which is true, then we will say swap array low and array mid. So we will swap array low and array mid. So what I'm saying, if array mid, let's say we found 0 somewhere here, and we know that 0 is the smallest element, and I'm talking about element 0, not index 0. So if we found 0 here at mid, so we know that this is the smallest, so we have to make this 0 come here. So if some element here is present, let's say 2 or 1, if 0 is present, nothing will happen because like obviously it is same as 0, but let's say if some element 2 or 1 is there at the start pointer, then we have to swap this with this, right? And we will keep on doing that. If mid element is 1, then we have to just, if let's say mid element is 1, then what we have to do is we have to just move, like mid plus plus, because no, we know that all zeros are here because we just did mid, if mid is equals to 0 0 and swap. So obviously every zero is here. If this is 1, then we will just move and keep on checking whether any 0 or 2 is present after 1 or not. So if that's not the case, if it is not the 1, then we will go ahead and swap mid with high. So let's say if this is 2 and the end is 1, so we will swap this with this. I hope you got the solution. Now I will code the solution for you so that you can have a better understanding of this in form of code. So let's do this. So we said, let me just first erase it. It was very bad. It's not eraser. I can't erase. Okay. So let's say we will soon go ahead and say int start is equals to 0. We have initialized the value of start as 0. We will initialize the value of mid as 0. We will say uh, end is equals to n minus 1 because 0th indexing and n is uh, our length of an array. Then we will check while, because we have to check whether mid is less than equal to end. If that is true, and if mid, array mid, because we are checking the array mid, and array mid is equals to 0, which is true right now, then we will swap uh, array low with array mid. In initial case, the first case, it will not affect anything because start is also 0 and mid is also 0, so it would not do anything because obviously 0 is present. It would swap, but 0 would be there. Okay, and we will say uh, start plus plus, and we have to move mid plus plus. Okay, then we will check if see there is this condition, if mid is 0, then we will swap with uh, our start position. If mid is 1, we will just move ahead because all the zeros are present before the 1. And if mid is greater than end, that means that element is 2, so we will swap that element with the end element. If that is 2, then nothing will happen, but if that is 0 or 1, it will get swapped. So now check if array mid is equal to 1, then what we have to do is just say mid plus plus because we don't have to anything, right? uh, or we can just uh, say this is an else if a condition, so else if blah blah blah, and now else. So this is a nested if. So if else if and else, if else if and else. So if mid is equals to 1, then mid plus plus, else swap, because we know if mid is greater than our end, that means the element at the mid is greater than the element at the end, so we will just swap it. Then mid swap array add the array end, and then we will move that end towards left. So this is clear to you, and let's run this code. And yes, it passes all the test case. So what we did, let me recap. We have start at 0, mid at 0, and end at n-1. So we will check whether mid is less than or equal to end. While this condition holds true, we will say that if mid is equal to 0, which is true initially, then swap start and mid. So obviously nothing will happen because 0 and 0 would be 0 and 0 after swapping also. But the start will go one pointer ahead and mid will go one pointer ahead. Then if the next element is 1, then it will swap mid with 1 and low with 1. Like it will swap the position of that. Else if mid is equals to 0, then we will move ahead, because we know if mid is equals to equal to 1, then that means all the elements before 1 are 0. But then we will check if mid is greater than 0, is not equal to 1 or not equal to 0. That means that mid element is 2. So if mid element is true, that means we could have some element after mid which can be less than 2. So we will swap the mid with end, and we will move the end pointer towards our middle point. So end minus minus. So this is how the code works, and I hope you got that code. But if you want to read about this code, the link is in the description again. And if you want to watch the same video in Hindi, the link is in the description. I will see you in the next video. Bye.